Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Raw Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. But before we get started, you already know I ask you to do it every single day. Every single day, I say go down in your settings, look around, find your subscribe button, and go ahead on and subscribe. And while you're in there, hit your notification bell too so you'll know when I upload or when I just want to pop in. And give me a thumbs up to fight my nemesis, the beast, the algorithm. Ooh, I cannot talk about it at this time. I just cannot. Also, right about here, that's our join button. That's for channel memberships. And if you choose to become a channel member and a part of the reading club, you will be supporting my channel to grow, to improve, and to continue. And I will be so grateful, so thankful, so over the moon appreciative for that support. Also, if you just want to do a one-time donation to the channel, our super thanks button is right over there, and all donations to the channel is always greatly appreciated. All right, with all that said, let's get to the read, y'all, because it is jam-packed as usual. My nosy self have been on these internet streets since early this morning, and I'm telling you, we have a lot to talk about. We just do. And y'all know when I am putting the read together, the first thing I do is jump in these internet streets, and that's where I have been. I have been up, down, and all around these internet streets on when I tell you every social media platform, I have been there just to get a read on what the squatties are talking about today. I was over to Blue Sky. Then I made a U turn and went to TikTok. Some of my favorites are, they are acting up over there, and I love it. And then I went to Instagram, and Instagram squatties are being Instagram squatties talking about everything dragging who needs to be drugged. I'm telling you. And then I landed on X, formerly known as Twitter. And y'all know for now, that's my home away from home. And so I found some good stuff over there too. And then I got some articles. Yeah, it is a lot out there. I'm telling you. Although it's the Christmas holidays, all the flying monkeys and the toadies and the derangers and those ugly old hags keep showing themselves. And since they're going to show themselves, I am going to call them out on their nonsense. Of course, I am. So it is a lot. So let's get to it. I'm going to put this up first. And this is from a squatty who said, Britain should stop stalking Prince Harry and Meghan. Where is the lie? And it's not so much the British people, it's the British media. The British people, I always have to separate them from the British media because I think that the British media does not reflect its people very well. I'm just saying. If I would say if Harry and Meghan had a stalker, it would be the British media, not the British people. It is definitely the British media. And we're going to start with this one. And this is from a squatty who did a repost of an article from the Daily Fail. And in this article, it's just a whole lot of made up stuff like they do, and trying to give Megan advice and trying to gaslight people into believing that somehow Megan has a bad reputation for doing. God only knows what they're talking about because from what I can see, Megan has not done anything, and that includes to speak on anybody across the pond. Megan has been totally and completely mute when it comes to those people over there. She has painted them completely, absolutely, completely invisible. And she has continued for the past 2 years to serve them up dust. But yet and still, they are still talking, still obsessed, still stalking her. and Harry. This particular article, the name of it is Mark Moves 5 Things Meghan Must Do in 2025. Meghan. Have y'all noticed where they have really, really stopped talking about Harry? I mean, they always more was focused in on Meghan, but now I have noticed it's even more so focused on Meghan, when in actuality, it is Harry who be serving up the smoke all the time. Let's not forget Harry was the one on the stage in New York, just absolutely serving up smoke for the trolls and everybody else. But yet and still, they still want to come at Meghan. And Meghan has not said anything in 2 years. She has been serving dust. But yet and still, they are always after Meghan because I think they know Meghan is the key. Meghan is the key. But let's go on. This article says Mark moves 5 things Meghan must do in 2025 to save her reputation. I'm sorry, but did Meghan have a kill notice on her Mother's Day card where now Kensington Palace is pretty much the most unreliable source for the news coming out of there? And was it was said that they were in the same company as North Korea, Iran, and Russia when it comes to propaganda and lies. Did that happen to Megan, or did that happen to Kate and William? Stop it. Stop it. But let's go on. And it says, an end Kate feud. So it's up to Megan to end a feud that she did never start. Megan has never said anything negative about Kate. The last thing that Megan said, and Megan spoke on Kate, she said it on the Oprah interview, and she said, you don't have to love me and hate her, and you don't have to love her and hate me. You can like us both. That is the last thing that Megan spoke on when it came to Kate. Why is it a feud? Why do y'all think it's a feud? Because Kate is liking, when you compare Kate to Megan, everybody know who's the winner is. But yet and still, they want to try to perpetrate this nonsense. Megan ain't said nothing to that woman. And let's look back on what Kate has said. Racist Kate was questioning her child's skin tone, and Megan was willing to overlook that. But, like I said, I have always said Megan is a better person than me because after Kate did that, it would be a feud if I was Megan. It would be a feud and it would go down. And that whole thing at the Queen's funeral, when the Queen died and Kate stepping up to her, that would have been a problem too. But Megan has always been a virtue in grace when it comes to that woman. What about her behavior? I'm just saying. And we all know that she has been caught in a lie. She's been caught out by her husband lying about cancer. But yet and still, it's Megan's reputation. Stop it. And it goes on to say, after claims she has world's worst judgment. We all know that came from Tina Brown. Oh, lying Tina Brown, who has lied for years and years and years and rode off the coattails of Diana, saying that she was somehow a friend of Diana. How could you ever be a friend of Diana and you are attacking Diana's son's wife? Stop it. This woman has done nothing but ride on the coattails of the royals, and she is mad now that their mystique, their respect is gone, and she can no longer ride on it anymore. So now she's blaming Megan for that and trying to tear Megan down. She should stand on her own 2 feet. She should stand on her own accolades and not depend on her association or being adjacent to the royals because, yes, the shine is gone. The members of that family who's bringing the shine are either dead like the queen or gone like Harry. And that is what is left. And she mad about it. She absolutely mad about it. She said it on a panel that the mystique is gone. They have brought it down to a base level Charles and his horse has. And she mad about that. And she wants somebody to blame. And she's trying to blame Meghan. I'm just saying. This particular squatty that reposted this article said this. Yeah, so this idea that Meghan needs or has to fix her reputation in the UK by simping up to a cold, dead, behind the eyes fish. Kate, exactly. Why is it that Meghan has to simp up to her? The same woman who has done nothing but insult her and step to her. And like she is something special. She is nothing but a woman who married up and did everything in her power to trap a man in order to be in the position that she's in. And she has been shown up to be so wholly unqualified for the job. She cannot speak, she mumbles, she does not have a clear thought in her head, she cannot wrestle two or three sentences together, and she walks around like a clothes hanger. She has no qualifications to be queen. She can't. And that's why she had to leave the world stage because she was on there embarrassing herself on the daily. Look at her Christmas carol and where she was talking to, I think it was one of the entertainers. I'm telling you, the closed captions, they could not interpret what she was saying. It was so mumbled and jumbled that the closed caption was making nonsense. This is who William married. Go back and look at that interview with them when when they got engaged. We should have known then what was going on. She is a empty vessel. She has nothing in there. If you look in one side of her ear, you can look straight through to the other side. Is nothing in between her ears. It's nothing. But yet and still somehow Megan is supposed to simp up to that. Stop it. Stop it. And it goes on to say, reuniting with her toxic, emotional, abusive father who did way more than just take those paparazzi pictures and bring her children to see Charles is ridiculous because Charles do not want to see his grandchildren. Charles could care less. He has showed himself time and time again his whole life that he does not have the ability to care about anything or anybody past himself and his horse. And he doesn't care anything about those grandchildren. I think it was one post I had the other day, and this particular squatter had said how the queen actually cared about her grandchildren. She would make an effort to spend time with her grandchildren. It is so many pictures of the queen playing with her grandchildren, riding the horses, doing all manner of things with the grandchildren. The queen's grandchildren loved her. Charles's grandchildren don't even know him. That is the difference. That is the difference. And as for Thomas Markle Sr., who would want your child around that? Someone who has disparaged your children. He did the same thing. He talked all manner of nonsense about those children and about his daughter, saying that he didn't believe her to feel the unaliving ideations that she was feeling, would not acknowledge her as a human being with feelings. What is these people talking about? And it goes on to say the level of gaslighting is insane. Thank you. Blaming her for the fact that people believe the false misogynistic narrative about her stealing their prince is gaslighting. Exactly. And this whole thing about her stealing their prince. Harry fell in love. Meghan fell in love with Harry, and their intentions were to stay in Great Britain and work for the crown. That has always been the plan. But it was made impossible by those left behinds over there. But yet and still they want to gaslight the people and try to gaslight anybody who would listen that it was Meghan who stole Harry away. And Harry has said it every opportunity he has gotten that it was him who wanted to leave, that he did not want to continue to put his wife through this nonsense. And he definitely did not want to raise his children in it. He tried. He tried. Harry said he begged and begged for help. That was never given. So stop it, stop it, stop it with the gaslighting. And that's all this whole article seemed to have been is a bunch of gaslighting, trying to tell Meghan what she needs to do. Focus on them that's left behind over there. Tell them what they need to do. Tell them that they need to stop faking cancer over there. Tell them that they actually need to go and do some work. Tell them that they actually need to start apologizing for to a couple who has done nothing to them, and all they have done is had to suffer under their cruelty. What about that? Focus on that instead of trying to tell Megan what she needs to do. A woman who is 5,000 miles away and is an American citizen in her homeland right now, because as I remember, it was calls on a daily basis on national television for Megan to leave and go home. And when she packed up, I'm sorry, but she packed the baby up and your favorite prince, which you never thought she was going to pack him up. But Megan packed him up and absolutely went home like you asked her to do. But all of a sudden now it's gaslighting, saying that she took your favorite prince. Well, I thought William was your favorite anyway. I'm just saying. But let's go on. It says, also, if nobody is preventing Charles from seeing his grandchildren, it's Harry who said he wouldn't bring his family back. Why does she get the blame? Exactly. Exactly. Harry said he wasn't coming back. And my whole thing is, what are you talking about? They have no security in the UK. And I know they go on and try to gaslight the people and say, well, they went to dangerous Nigeria and they went to dangerous Colombia. Why can't they come to the UK? The UK is not as dangerous as those two countries. Well, in those two countries, they don't have rags on the daily making up lies and stoking up hate against them. And they were invited and welcomed with open arms. That is why it is safer for Harry and Meghan in Colombia, in Nigeria, than it is in the UK. Don't be acting stupid. How do y'all say it in Great Britain? Stop being thick. You know what the deal is. You know why Harry and Meghan are not showing up over there. It's because they're not welcome. Let's just say it the way it is. The left behinds don't want them to come over there because when they come, the UK media loses its collective minds. Can you imagine Archie, Prince Archie, and Princess Lilibeth touching down in the UK? Oh my goodness, they wouldn't be able to handle themselves. They almost lost themselves with a little segment of a Christmas card that Harry and them released. These people are crazy. And I'm gonna put this up. And this particular squatter said this. Bullying the Sussexes is how royalists make a living. Well, it's a lie. We see them every single day. Nana and Angela Levin and all sorts and manners of folks on Talk TV and all that nonsense. And we all see all the hate channels that are on this particular app. Megan has purchased teeth and paid rent and paid light bills. The hate that is generated towards this couple has paid for vacations for these trolls and these old ugly hags. It absolutely has. The stalking, and the British newspaper, well, the British rags, that whole industry is held up by Harry and Meghan. And if you don't think that's true, go and look up articles. I'm going to have an example in just a minute of just some of the articles. Some of the articles picture Harry or Meghan, and it doesn't even have anything to do with Harry and Meghan. They just put their picture up there, or they try to somehow make it associated with Harry and Meghan so they could put their name in the title. They know Harry and Meghan is going to get the clicks. They know Harry and Meghan is going to get the eyeballs. So they do that. They use Harry and Meghan and they absolutely make a living off of them. And Harry knows that. He said it in Spare, how he was paying Angela Levin's house note, car note, rent, or whatever Harry was saying. And I am sure he pays all of that because that's all she do is sit around pound after pound after pound and pull lies out of her butt about Harry and Meghan and saying that she is some kind of biographer of Harry's when she only spent 30 minutes in his presence and was supposed to write an article and lied about it, her dishonest troll that she is, and turned it into a book instead. Yes, yes, that's what they do. They make a living off of Harry and Meghan. That is the reason why they stopped them. This squatty goes on to say, everything Harry and Meghan sells. No one gives a ish about the stale left behinds. Where are the lies? I don't see no lies. This is the truth. William and Kate, that card, their Christmas card, didn't even make a blip. I have not saw one thing really over here in America about that card. But Harry and Meghan's card was all over everywhere. It broke the internet. Even local news channels were doing segments about this Christmas card and Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet. They absolutely was. But the stale left behinds, nobody cares. And I think their feelings are hurt by it. I really do. And if they are, I just love that for them. But let's go on. If the picture was manipulated like Kate's picture were, and they're talking about the Christmas card, the trolls, the toadies, the old ugly hags, trying to get something going, trying to get a kill notice on Harry and Meghan's Christmas card. This is how sick and obsessed these people are. And it's driven by the stalker behavior from like the Daily Mail and all those rags over there in Britain. This is where these old hags get their motivation and why it has drove them so crazy. They are crazy thinking that anything and everything that Harry and Meghan does has to be obsessed over. I'm just saying. And so that is what this particular squatty is talking about. It says It says, if the picture was manipulated like Kate's pics were, major publications would have called Harry and Meghan out just like they did KP, which was declared unreliable. Where is the lie? The reason none of this has happened is because Harry and Meghan's Christmas card, that little bitty picture, was actually an original picture. Harry and Meghan are not fools. There's no way they would put out a Frankenstein picture like William and Kate did, and then put a story to it talking about William took it 2 days before. Told that big lie. They were caught out and they're mad about it. And they are making a living off of stalking Harry and Meghan. And here is a perfect example. I just went in just to look and see how many articles were about Harry and Meghan, and some are not even about Harry and Meghan, but have their picture or their name in it, like this one from Marcia. And it says Kate Middleton once turned down Queen Elizabeth's invitation to spend Christmas at Sandringham with the royal family. What does Meghan have to do with that? But there's Meghan's picture. Why? Because Kate Middleton cannot get the clicks by herself. If they had just put her picture up there, it would be no click. Nobody's interested in her. Another example. Here's another one. How will the royal family celebrate Christmas after Andrew's scandal? And will Meghan and Harry attend? This is from the Independent. This was just what? This was today. No, yesterday. This was yesterday. And they know Harry and Meghan is not going to attend. It has been made perfectly clear that Harry and Meghan is not coming. They haven't attended that Christmas celebration in 6 years. Over a half a decade, they have not attended. But this particular paper, wanting the clicks, wanting the eyeballs, put that in the headline. This is what these people do. And this is nothing but stalkerish behavior, I'm saying. And then this one right here. This one says, see every member of the royal family who attends the annual Christmas lunch at Buckingham Palace. What does that have to do with Meghan? What does that have to do with Meghan? But yet and still, there's Meghan holding Harry's arm, going to church 6 years ago. This is what I'm saying. And this was Town and Country. Town and Country did that. This is stalkerish behavior. And look at this made up nonsense. I'm going to put it up. It says, amidst Prince Harry, Meghan Markle divorce buzz, which they know is a lie, but they're just trying to get some clicks here. It says, Duchess of Sussex shocking allegations against King Charles and Queen Camilla. Meghan hadn't said anything for 2 years. Everybody knows Meghan has not said anything for 2 whole years, but yet and still, they made up this nonsense, put it out there, put a recent picture of her with Charles, trying to get clicks and views. And my whole thing is this is stalker behavior. So, my favorite squatter who wrote something about this, and of course, I have to share. And I'm going to put it up. And the name of the article that she wrote or he wrote, I don't know if it's a woman or a man, I don't, but that they wrote, I'll put it that way, that they wrote is Britain's Stop Stalking Meghan and Harry. Well, it's a lie because I have just showed you just scratched the surface of the stalking behavior that these people have been exhibiting. When you absolutely send someone 5,000 miles just to talk to someone who is working in their supermarket, tell me you're not a stalker. Tell me you're not a stalker when you have people just to stand outside of the gate to take pictures of where Harry and Meghan live. Tell me you're not a stalker. Tell me you are not a stalker. And this is the stalkish behavior these people have been exhibiting for the past 5 years. I'm just saying. But it goes on to say, Britain, it's time for a hard look in the mirror. What's happening here is disturbing. the continued obsession with Meghan and Prince Harry is nothing short of national stalking, and it's long past time to admit it. Where is the lie? Because that's exactly what's going on here. It is nothing but stalkerish behavior. And then it goes on to say these two individuals made a decision to leave the service of the Windsor family years ago, over a half of a decade ago, moving thousands of miles away to build a life for themselves away from the relentless public gaze of the UK. Yet Britain refused to let them go. Every time I think about what this particular squatter is writing about, it makes me think about Brokeback Mountain. Y'all know that movie, Brokeback Mountain? I can't hardly say all them B's together, but Brokeback Mountain. Yes. And in that particular character in there said, I can't quit you. I can't quit you. And that is the way the UK tabloids are. They cannot quit Harry and Meghan. They cannot. And it is just so pathetic to continue to watch because Harry and Meghan continues to serve them up dust and they scrounge for the scraps and the crumbs that are left. But they still are at it because at the end of the day, Harry and Meghan's crumbs and scraps makes more money for them, gets them more clicks, more views than the left behinds if they do a full interview, if they do a full documentary. They absolutely nobody is interested in anything that they do. Look at that documentary that William just did for Earthflower. It came and went, and nobody even knew it came or went. Same thing with the Christmas card. I saw one squad said I didn't even know when they put it up. I didn't know it had came down, and I didn't know they had re-put it up again because nobody cares. Nobody cares. And it goes on to say, let's stop pretending this isn't anything other than what it really is, stalking. We may dress it up as concern for the monarchy or public interest, but make no mistake, this is harassment. Where is the lie? Where is the lie? Meghan and Harry made the monumental decision to leave both the royal institution and the country itself to live their lives on their own terms. Yet, despite the clear boundaries they have set, Britain, particularly its tabloid media and a small but vocal portion of its public, continues to track their every movement, criticize, dissecting, and condemning from afar. And it goes on to say, what fuels this obsessive need to cling to two people who have made it crystal clear that they don't want to be a part of the UK royal show anymore? It's not about protecting the monarchy. It is not about accountability. It's about control. That is why they so obsessed with Harry because he is out of their control. He's out of Charles' control. Charles used to could just wield all kinds of power when it came to his sons. When he would expose them, when he would drop like a story, when just anything, he controlled that. Harry was locked in the cage. And then Meghan came along with the key, freed him, and they have not been the same ever since. And it is about control. It's about control. They wanted to control Harry, they wanted to control Meghan, and most of all, they wanted to control their children. Can you imagine how much money? And I bet you they said each and every day how much money they would be making now on Archie and little Lilibet because the world would just fall in love, especially with Lilibet looking like Diana. Oh my goodness. And do you not know how cruel they would be treated because of that by William and Kate? It would be a she show, if you know what I mean. It goes on to say, it's about the inability to accept that these two individuals rejected the roles that they were expected to play and had the audacity to forge their own path. Where is the lie? Exactly. And they cannot stand it. And they are over there circling the drain because of the fact that they have nobody that has to shine that can bring the eyeballs. Even the Wells children cannot bring the eyeballs. They have trotted them out on all kinds of occasions. And it all lands with a dud. Not saying those are not cute kids. They are cute kids and they look like very, very sweet kids. But they are not Archie and Lilibet, whose parents both have the shine. And that is the difference. And it goes on to say, as a nation, we've turned this unhealthy obsession into a national pastime. Every appearance, every public outing, every family decision of theirs is picked apart as though they still owe an explanation. They don't. Say it out loud. Say it a little louder for the ones in the back. They owe them nothing. You know, I have heard the Rangers and Toadies and a lot of the trolls on panels talking about Harry and Meghan, especially Meghan. She got that wedding. She got that wedding, and she owes Great Britain because of that wedding. They do owe because of that wedding. Listen, Meghan didn't want to have that wedding. If you want to talk about who owes for that wedding, talk to Charles, talk to the dead queen, because those are the people who made the decision that Harry and Meghan would have a large wedding, because it has been reported and it has been said that Harry and Meghan did not, especially Meghan, did not want a big wedding. So at the end of the day, they owe you nothing except dust. And let's not forget how much revenue that particular wedding brought in to Great Britain. It was in the billions. Yes, yes. People from all over Canada, Australia, America came to Windsor and spent money. They did. So don't even get it twisted and look at all the eyeballs. Over 1 billion eyeballs was focused in on Great Britain. You can't get that kind of advertisement from any for any amount of money. So at the end of the day, you can just miss me with this talking about this wedding. They owe you because of the wedding. They don't owe you nothing. You owe them actually, because they brought in a lot of money for that country. I'm just saying. It goes on to say, let's be honest, Meghan and Harry's departure was a rejection of the toxic environment that they endured while in Britain. Well, it's a lie. And they are not, they have never said anything that about the people of Great Britain. Harry, basically, all he has said how he loves his home country, but it is the toxicity of the media and his family that has drove him out of the country. And they always want to say that Meghan stole him. No, Meghan didn't steal him. He was driven out of the country by the toxicity of that family and that media. I'm just saying. It says whether it was the ceaseless media harassment, the barely veiled racism, or the suffocating demands of royal life, they made it clear that they wanted out. They left for a reason, and instead of reflecting on what they say about Britain's relationship with its royal family and its media culture, the country, led by the nose by the British royal family, has chosen to double down on our obsession with them. Meghan and Harry are not ours to control, and certainly not ours to stalk. Yet Britain continues to act like a unhinged ex who can't accept the breakup. Where is the lie? I have said this many, many times. And it is the media and the obsession. Like right now, I can go and watch panel after panel on GB News or somewhere else, just the level of obsession with this couple who absolutely serves them up dust. It seems like the more Harry and Meghan serves them up dust, the more obsessed they become, like a psycho ex. It's just weird to watch, and it's just unhinged. Let Harry and Meghan live their life without the ceaseless stalking. They made it abundantly clear that they don't want to be a part of the royal story anymore. Our obsession with them doesn't make us concerned subjects, it makes us predators. Where is the lie? Where is the lie? Loved it, loved it. And I'm going to put this up. And this particular squatty said this. I was just thinking the same thing. Every few months, there's a story about what Meghan has to do to repair her reputation. And they're talking about that article. She's talking about that article that was in the Daily Fail, talking about how Meghan needs to, the 5 things she needs to do. This nonsense. It says, it always involves come back to visit the UK. They want her back. And number 2, bring your kids, show your kids, make up with your father. So they want her to make up with Thomas Markle, so because they know that they control him. And he would absolutely leak everything that was said between him and his daughter. They want access. This is all about access. And then this squatty goes on to say, if Meghan was so concerned about how people in the UK viewed her and she was desperate to change the view of her, do you not think Meghan would have gone back ages ago? Where is the lie? We are in a half a decade already, and Meghan have not set foot over there since the Queen died. Harry got on national television and said he wasn't bringing his wife back because of all the hate churned up on a daily basis over there. And they don't have any security. So he's not going to do that. But yet and still, they continue to say, come back, bring your children, and talk to Thomas Markle. My whole thing is, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they wanted her to do so they could hurt her and harm Lily and Archie. Because we all know it's nothing but hate and jealousy over across the pond from those left behinds. And the last time it was this much hate and this much jealousy churned up, it was for Diana. And we all know how that turned out. So Harry is absolutely right. Keep your wife and your kids as far away from them folks as you possibly can. Because as Harry has said before, we do not want a repeat of history. And it goes on to say, now I must be honest, I actually do think there are times Meghan wants to go back. Don't forget she has friends in Britain. And by all accounts, Harry and Meghan had every intention of going back and forth. It's when their security was stripped. That is when the plan changed. Where is the lie? And it was their intentions to go back and forth. They actually wanted to work for the crown, to work for the queen. But Charles and William would have none of that. And William just blinded with jealousy about Harry and Meghan's popularity. And Charles and the horse, too, that they wanted them completely away from there because they thought once Harry and Meghan was gone, nobody was going to talk about them anymore. Everybody was going to focus in on them. And look what happened. But this is all on Harry. Harry is the one who won't bring them but Meghan gets blamed for it all. They blame everything on Meghan. It's always Meghan. And Harry don't do nothing but air him out every opportunity he get. But they never say anything about Harry. It's all Meghan all the time. I'm just saying. And then this particular squatty, that this squatty repost said, anyone else find it strange that 100% of the time when the British press makes up fan fiction about Meghan Markle, one of their demands is that she returns to the UK. It makes you think, doesn't it? It really makes you think that are they trying to do a Diana on Meghan? Because where is just asking her to come back all the time has shown up. It makes me think. I think Harry is doing the right thing, keeping his wife and kids just as far away from them folks as he possibly can. And y'all, I am going to put this post up. And this particular squatty would posted this, and then the one that came back under her didn't have nothing but smoke for the queen. And this particular squatty said this: I swear, Queen Elizabeth took her crown with her when she died. Nothing left behind except the deception, greed, fate, diseases, and hate, the end game. And this particular squatty came up under her and had nothing but smoke for Queen Elizabeth, for Queen Betty. She said the old lady was just as heartless and cunning and only interested in protecting her corrupt institution. The day Di died, she was not capable of hugging or kissing her two bereaved grandboys. In fact, Di's name was not mentioned, yet she was happy to parade them in front of hundreds of cameras. She didn't have nothing but smoke for Queen Betty. And did she lie? I don't think she did. I didn't detect a lie. No lie detected. I'm just saying. I love the smoke though. All right, I'm gonna put this up. And this particular swati said this: as the year comes to an end, you'll likely see tabloids saying this was Harry and Meghan's worst year, that no one likes them, no one talks to them, they are shunned in society, etc. Just remember, it wasn't. It was the best year by far. They were out working every single month. They did two major amazing international working trips. They done so many impactful projects. They have been protected by close friends, tight knit circle of friends that have truly embraced them and protected them, loved them, cared for them, guided them, and were there for them. Don't forget two amazing red carpet moments for Meghan. The worst year goes to the royal family, who are currently reaping everything they have sowed. Ooh, yes, 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 yes. William walking around here, walking like he walking on a slant. I mean, just leaning into life, literally. But yet and still they want to talk this nonsense about Harry. And what this squatty said was absolutely right. It has already started. I'm going to put this up. The Telegraph. And we all know the Telegraph is headed by Camilla the Horse's best friend. He's the editor. And it says, it has been a bad year for the Sussexes. There you go. There you go. It said, the least we can all do is wish them a happy holiday season, writes Michael Deacon. And Michael Deacon is a toady, a troll, a flying monkey, and a simp. But I digress. And this particular squatty underneath this post commented and said, seem to be mixing the Sussexes up with the older brother and sister-in-law because the Sussexes had a spectacular year with successful tours of Jamaica to Canada to Africa and Colombia and so much more. Where is the lie? But they always try to gaslight us into that this is Harry and Meghan's flop year. Look at Harry. Harry was in the UN on during UN week. I mean, kicking butt and taking names. All of these initiatives and charities and all the things that he was doing was on full display. He was lauded as a global advocate, but yet and still, these toadies, these flying monkeys, want to gaslight us into believing that it is Harry and Meghan's worst year. I went and found this article. I didn't read it, but I found it, and here it is. And it says, "Is anyone else starting to feel sorry for Harry and Meghan? It's been a bad year for the Sussexes. The least we can all do is wish them a happy holiday season." Where did he come up with that? I'm telling you, he must have did two lines of cocaine and absolutely some oxy before he wrote this nonsense. That's all I'm saying. Because you got to be fevered minded on drugs to think that the Sussexes has had a bad year. What is wrong with these people? I don't know. And maybe it is some people out there who believe that. The blind, the crippled, the crazies. Got to be. I'm just saying. And I'm gonna put this up. And Kate Manzi, she had wrote, evidently Kate is going to be on the cover of the Times magazine. And all of this nonsense, that they were writing, talking about the reason Charles won't see Prince Harry. The nickname Andrew and Harry is the Dukes of Hazards. Isn't that some just so stupid mess? And the king's tears and why he's closer to Kate than ever. We all know that's a lie because Kate and William said it was a lie. They said it in their shampoo commercial, in their Cialis commercial. They said that they got their support from the Middletons. And they didn't understand. It was an article. It was an article. William had took his salty tears over to Tom Sykes. And in that article, he told Tom Sykes that they didn't understand what the king was talking about, that him and Kate was so close in their cancer journey, when it's the Miltons that they lean on. They aired Charles out on this lie, but yet and still they still trying to perpetrate this lie that the king tears and why he's closer to Kate than ever. That lie. I mean, that is a full-on lie. And talking about Camilla's guilty pleasure, one of them is Rivals, whatever that is. And I could care less what that horse's guilty pleasures are. I could care less, to be honest. But yes, all this nonsense and talking about nickname for Harry and Andrew is Dukes of Hazzard. Like, what has Harry done but be the boss that he is? And it kills them. They have to try to paint him as a failure. Can you imagine being born into a family where you are a born leader, you are successful, you have all these accolades, and they still try to paint you as a loser? Can you imagine that? Just because your dumb, stupid of an older brother is going to inherit the kingdom. Can you imagine that? And your father, who is stupid as a rock, you outshine them so much that the two gets together to sabotage your mere existence. Can you imagine living in that? I'm just saying. But she goes on to write, oh, Kate Manzi does. Exclusive. I'm writing about the royal family's tumultuous year for tomorrow's Time magazine. I spent weeks talking to people about what was really going on behind the scenes, and some of it is very surprising. Yeah, I'm sure it is, but I could care less, Kate Manzi, because we all know that all you're going to come up with is some kind of flowery type nonsense. Thanks, but no thanks, Kate Manzi, because we all know what you're going to come up with. Something that you have been spoon fed from the palaces, from Buckingham Palace, from Kensington Palace. Just some nonsense to try to make these mediocre people look extraordinary. And I know that is a hard haul to try to make. I'm just saying. And all the gaslighting, I can live without it. Goodbye. But this particular squatty said this: the article won't talk about how Kate and Charles are racist. Boy, it's a lie. Comes straight for the neck, doesn't she? I love it. And it says, or the extra money Will and Charles make, or how Will's tenants live in Mole. Woo, woo, right there, right at the neck. It's about Camilla's guilty pleasure and how Camilla and Kate are besties. And we all know that is not true. And it says, when I tell you the propaganda machine is back, that's what I mean. Absolutely. And they are nothing but the propaganda arm of the royal family. If you see raw rodent, if you see raw reporting, absolutely in the presence of the propaganda machine or the PR machine of those palaces. Kate Manzi is a toady and a flying monkey. She just is. All right, y'all, I'm gonna put this up. And when I saw this, it was not surprising, but it still made me mad. And it says breaking news: UK media harassing the USA for information on the Sussexes so they can write negative storylines, all in attempt to get Harry to drop his case. Come back begging to the racist royals. And it says the freedom of information to harass. The mission continues. See you in the freaking court. All right, basically, what they're talking about is that the British media is harassing New York City using the Freedom of Information Act to get information about what happened in that car chase. And my whole thing is this: didn't they lie and say the car chase didn't happen? Now they're seeking information about the car chase. And I mean, you should see. I'm going to put this up. This is just two of the things that they're seeking, and it's all about the Duke and Duchess of Sussex incidents, the correspondence between the NYC and the office of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex from 2020 to 2023. They want all of this stuff, trying to get stories, trying to make something out of it. And it says Prince Henry's security bill and all of that. They want to know stuff like that so they can write stories. And then I'm going to put this one up and look how many that they're talking about. They want the footage from May 16, 2023 incidents involving Prince Henry and Meghan. Just all this stuff that they are trying to get access to when it pertains to Harry and Meghan when they were in New York using the Freedom of Information Act. This is what these rags are up to. But yet and still they could not find that William was a slumlord and Charles was charging charities like cancer charities and children charities and making money off of that, just absolutely making money by land, air, and sea. And they don't have any smoke for that. They ain't trying to find out nothing. And let's not even talk about the farm market case or Kate in the Audi with the five wheels. They ain't trying to have any kind of freedom of information act about that. And that AI Kate sitting on the bench They were absolutely rejected. The BBC was rejected to even get the information on that because no. Wait a minute. Ooh, let me bring that back. And they were, I don't know who was trying to get the original of that AI Kate on the bench from the BBC, but the BBC actually would not comply and give the original video for AI Kate on the bench. But yet and still they over here digging in Harry and Meghan's business. I just got through saying that these stalkers, these are stalkers. These are stalkers. This is harassment and obsession at a whole new level. And something just needs to be done about it. I'm just saying. All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up. And this happened. Now, I'm going to say this. The Star magazine over here is really not a serious publication. It's not. It's a tabloid. And unlike in Britain, we don't pay our tabloids any attention. We don't give them any kind of weight when it comes to uh, being truthful or something that we would believe or to absolutely point to as proof of anything. To be honest, we associate them with um, UFOs and nonsense like that. But I saw, I was watching Byron one day, and Byron went through, and some of these magazines that were talking about Kate having cancer and Charles having cancer, and it was the Star, and I think it was the Inquirer, and they got it right. They did. So I don't know. But like I'm just saying, we don't put a whole lot of weight behind them. But they had this in there, and it said Kate and the kids secretly living with her mom. And somehow I believe it. I do. It said under pressure again. William admit to making mistakes. Shock decision changed monarchy forever. Inside kid sweet bond with Granny Carol. You think Carol over here leaking to the American tabloids? Because she the only one came out of there with any kind of shine. I'm just saying. This particular squatty said this: drip, drip, drip. Nothing here we didn't already suspect, but it's interesting that the minions are spilling the beans. What has horns will always come out. Get the popcorn. Ooh, but we already know it's something going on there. We do. We saw the pictures, her crying and stuff. And like I said, I have zero sympathy for Kate. When I tell you zero, I'm really talking about less than zero, if that's possible, for Kate and William. I just absolutely just wish everything on them that they have wished on Harry and Meghan. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. I'm just saying. But I just love this for her and him. I do. All right. And now this is something. This is an original post from a man named Kevin Sutherland. And he is a person who accused Dan Wooten of aping him, drugging him, and aping him. And his final post was this: final notice. If you're reading this, it means I have died. The amount of red flags that have been ignored by absolutely everyone to allow me to get to this final point is unforgivable. 100. Yeah, and this particular squatty said this: another person in their lives, and Dan Wooten is again at the scene of the crime. Yes, yes, this is going on. This is going on. And I'm going to put this up. It says Dan Wooten aped this man who took his life yesterday. He is a apist. And this particular squatter reposted that and said, karma can't come fast enough for Martin Brennan. Y'all know this man had been accusing Dan of that for a while. The Byline Times featured this guy. Yeah, sure did. All right, y'all. I'm gonna leave that one alone, but I just had to put that out there. There's something going on with Martin Brennan. Yes, and may God have mercy on this poor guy's soul that took his life. I'm telling you. I'm gonna put this up. It says Nacho Figueres praises Prince Harry for his passion project Polo on Netflix. The feedback has been great so far, very great. And also, I really hope that when time comes that we will be able to. We're already talking about a second season. So I went and found this article. It's in Town and Country. It says Nacho Figueres praises Prince Harry's passion project Polo on Netflix, and basically what he is talking about is that, and Nacho said he is thinking that it might be a second season, but we really, really need to keep pushing it. And that's why we really, really need to keep, and I'm going to put it up here, keep streaming Polo, y'all. Keep streaming Polo because we win if we get a second season. They lose. We win if Polo comes back for a second season. We win. We got to keep streaming. We got to keep streaming Polo. That's why I mention it on every podcast since it debuted. We got to keep streaming Polo, y'all. Turn it on. Turn it on your second TV and stream it. Get those hours in. I'm just saying. And y'all, this happened too. I got to bring it up too. Richard Eden put this out, said Edward and Sophie digitally manipulated photograph on their Christmas card to highlight similarities with the late Queen and Prince Philip. This is what Richard Eden put out. Yes, he did. But it is bogus because you know what they did? They just flipped it. They flipped it from one way to the other way. That's it. They didn't do anything else. And I'm telling you, his little old fevered minded, twisted minded old hag toadies, they went in on him, saying, "Why are you mentioning this? You need to be talking about Harry and Meghan, how they have IAI'd and all kinds of old fevered minded nonsense they were talking about." I went in and looked to see what they were saying, and that's what they were saying. I must agree with them on this. Yeah, they didn't do anything but flip it. The original Sophie was on the other side. They was on opposite sides, and they just flipped it. Sometimes I do photos like that. That is nothing. But he had the need to put that out there. Why? It's because they're trying to find some way to balance out what Kate and William did. And they are willing to use anybody to try to balance it out. Nobody is ever going to come close to that one, boo boo. I'm telling you, the world media was involved with that. And nobody don't care enough about Edward and Sophie enough to make it like that. Nobody really cared about Kate that much. But she went missing, and the Sussex squads started to hype it up, saying, "Where Kate at?" And then everybody kind of got on that train, and then she gonna come out with this nonsense and absolutely got a kill notice on the picture. Ain't nobody ever gonna live up to that, boo-boo. So stop it, Richard E. That is forever in the history books. And I just love that for Kate and William. I do. But their toadies still are trying to somehow dilute what happened by using other people. They wanted to do it on Harry and Meghan's Christmas card, but they could not do it because it was an original. And they know Harry and Meghan is not stupid like that. Only Kate and William is that stupid. Only Kensington Palace PR team ranks to be that moronic. I'm just saying. So no, you can't throw Sophie and Edward to the woods because this time they not biting. I'm just saying. All right. All right, y'all. I'm going to put this up. And y'all know, if they don't know, they will know that if they mess with Harry and Meghan, the Sussex squad will proceed at eating their face off. We will. Bye, y'all.